Hello everyone, I'm Vika Vinogradova. This is a channel with recipes for lazy people. And today we have a chocolate cake. Actually, not quite like that. Today we have an explosively delicious, the chocolatiest, the softest, the gentlest, the coolest cake. Just like that, and no less. This is a very chic recipe. I've been cooking it myself for many years. Guys, it's so simple to make. So elementary that even those who can't handle baking, let alone ever make cakes, must try this recipe. You will all succeed, it's that simple. I vouch for it. Moreover, he won't need any mixers, kitchen machines, baking molds, and a whole bunch of everything else. All we will need is some large bowl or pot, a saucepan, whatever you like. The main thing is that you can mix ingredients in it. Instead of kitchen scales, we will have a simple glass. And instead of a baking mold, you can take a regular frying pan without a handle. That's all. This will be enough. So let's get cooking. The cake will be really cool, I promise you. Immediately set the oven to heat up in top-bottom mode to 180 degrees and let's get to the dough. In a bowl, mix all the dry ingredients. 2 cups of sugar, cocoa, a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of soda, the same amount of baking powder, a teaspoon of vanilla and flour. Here we beat in 2 eggs. Pour in a cup of milk and 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. It is essential that it is odorless. We mix all of this together a little bit. After which we pour a glass of boiling water here and mix it until it becomes a homogeneous mass. The dough will be liquid, don't be afraid, it should be like this. Look, it's very liquid, but there are a lot of air bubbles on the surface. That's the charm of this dough. These are not in store-bought ones, even when there are no mixers, let alone kitchen combines and something like that. You just mixed it. And it has so many of these air bubbles, it's so airy that it will definitely double in the oven later. It's a miracle, not a dough. As a mold, as I already said, you can take a regular frying pan. Mine is 24 centimeters in diameter. We grease it with butter and sprinkle it with flour. Shake it a little so that the flour spreads all over the pan. It will be easier to remove the crust later. This way they won't stick to us. After that, pour out half of the dough. And send it to the oven for 30-35 minutes. And just look at how the crust has risen. We check the readiness of the dough with a toothpick. Poked it, pulled it out, took a look. If it's clean, it means the dough is baked through. We do exactly the same with the remaining dough. We also greased the skillet with butter, sprinkled it with flour, poured in the remaining dough, and baked it in the oven for the same 30 to 35 minutes to make a second crust. And of course, we need to decorate the cake, and we'll make the simplest glaze for it. Into a small saucepan or skillet, we pour 20 milliliters of cream, and mine are 10% fat, and we add 2 pieces of chocolate there, whether you want dark or milk chocolate. To prevent the cream from running away, we make the fire smaller. On medium heat, stir until the mixture is uniform. That's the kind of glossy glaze we get. Let it cool down a bit, it will thicken, and then it can be used to decorate the cake. All that's left is to assemble the cake, that is, take the layers, spread them with glaze, and it will be ready. To avoid staining the dish, put baking paper under the layer. We spread the first layer with this glaze, right instead of cream. The lazy recipe is so lazy. And we spread the top layer in the same way, only more carefully, because they are very soft, easy to break, so handle the layers carefully. We generously glaze the top and sides so there's as much chocolate as possible. And of course, you can leave it like that, literally there for another, minute. Let it stand, soak a little, and then destroy it boldly. But if you want to make it even more beautiful, why not? For this, I'll take some gummy bears, berries, and mint. Guys, I, of course, don't know how to convey this to you so that you would believe me, but it's so tender and soft. It turns out to be something with something. The biscuit, according to this recipe, it's insanely airy and very, very tasty chocolate. And the combination with this glaze, you don't even need any cream here. That is, you've spread 2 crusts, that's it, this is quite enough. Just immediately get rid of all the scales, forget about diets, because it's going to become unreal. This is insanely delicious. Now I'm going to put it aside because, guys, I didn't just make this cake for no reason. I have a joyous event. Actually, I don't know why I'm not so beautiful, dressed up. Well, okay, just dressed up. I have a celebration. And much better than a birthday or something in that spirit. I finally have my first 10,000 subscribers, guys. If you think that 10,000 subscribers is somehow not enough, and there's nothing to celebrate here, even making cakes for this, you're just not a YouTuber, believe me. Those who start their channels and are forced to do all this, they know how hard it is to reach this number. So gentlemen, guys, first of all, a huge thank you for subscribing to me, for watching the videos, liking, commenting. Because YouTube, it sees all this activity of yours and it understands, yeah, the video is cool and it needs to be promoted, to show it to other people. So really, whoever can, try to comment more often, because for me, it's a huge support and motivation to create for you further. Secondly, I want to say a big, big thank you to my husband, whom I love very much. Ilyush, thanks so much for the support. I really appreciate this. And secondly, a no less big thank you to your cousin Ilya Pavlov, who is involved in promoting the channel. Ilyu, if it weren't for you, these tens of thousands would definitely still be waiting and waiting and waiting. Thank you very much, you are very cool. And no less huge gratitude to the guys, YouTubers, whom I met when I started creating this channel. Thank you for your support, advice, and communication. It's a pleasure. Even for this alone, it was definitely worth starting a channel. I'm insanely glad that I know all of you. Okay, that's it. Before I got too emotional here, I went to destroy my cake. Guys, as always, I wish you a good mood, remarkable spring weather. Walk more often. I love you very much. Thank you for everything.